Amanda Johnson had always lived in luxury. Since childhood, Amanda was surrounded by privileges, never having to worry about the everyday hardships. By the age of 30, Amanda was a well-known figure in Los Angeles high society, famous for her extravagant parties, glamorous lifestyle, and constant presence in the social columns. Married to Jack, a successful businessman, Amanda lived in a mansion in the city's suburbs, where everything was designed for comfort and ostentation. Her days were spent frequenting the most exclusive boutiques, indulging in endless sessions at luxurious spas, and organizing social events for her high-society friends. Nothing seemed to be lacking in her life. Ethan, her 5-year-old son, was a child full of energy and curiosity. However, Amanda had little time for him. The relationship between mother and son was superficial, with Amanda often delegating Ethan's upbringing to the nanny, Caroline. Jack, her husband, was a sensible and hardworking man, often frustrated with Amanda's frivolous and indifferent attitude towards family responsibilities. Caroline, the dedicated nanny, was the one who kept the household running smoothly. She took care of cleaning, meals, and all the daily needs of the Johnson family. Caroline worked tirelessly, often sacrificing her own time and comfort to ensure everything was in order. Despite all her effort and dedication, Amanda saw Caroline merely as another piece of her comfortable lifestyle, without truly valuing the nanny's hard work. One evening, Amanda returned home after a full day of shopping. Laden with bags from the city's most expensive stores, she expected to find a delicious dinner ready to be served. Upon entering the kitchen, she saw Caroline still busy with the pots. Amanda felt a surge of impatience. "Caroline," she shouted, her words laden with frustration, "is dinner not ready yet?" Trying to hide her tiredness, Caroline calmly replied, "I'm almost done, ma'am. Just need a few more minutes." Amanda huffed and crossed her arms. "That's not good enough. I'm famished." Irritated, Amanda grabbed a wine glass and, in her careless movement, knocked it over, shattering it on the floor. The sound of breaking glass echoed through the kitchen. Without a second thought, Amanda blamed Caroline for the incident. "Look what you've done, Caroline. You should be more careful." Caroline, visibly shaken, tried to apologize. "I'm sorry, ma'am. It was an accident." But Amanda wasn't willing to hear excuses. "This is unacceptable. You're here to make my life easier, not to create more problems." Caroline, with tears in her eyes, apologized again. But Amanda had already made up her mind. In a fit of rage, Amanda made an impulsive decision. "You're fired, Caroline," she declared firmly. Caroline stood frozen, unable to believe what she had just heard. "Please, ma'am, I really need this job. I have a family to support," pleaded Caroline, trying to hold back tears. However, Amanda was adamant. "I don't want to hear excuses. You're fired. Leave my house now." Caroline, heartbroken, gathered her few belongings and left the mansion, feeling unjustly treated and unsure how she would explain the situation to her own family. Amanda didn't realize the impact of her decision. To her, Caroline was just a replaceable employee. However, by firing Caroline, Amanda not only disrupted the nanny's life, but also underestimated the complexity and importance of the work she performed every day. In the silence that followed Caroline's departure, Amanda began to reflect on what she had done. The house, once vibrant with Caroline's discreet and efficient presence, now felt strangely empty and disorganized. Amanda didn't yet fully grasp the consequences of her impulsive action, but she would soon understand that Caroline's absence would bring unexpected challenges. Amanda went to the living room, where Jack was reading a book. He looked up as she entered, noticing the tense expression on her face. "What happened?" he asked, although he already suspected the answer. "I fired Caroline," Amanda said, trying to sound resolute, but with a hint of insecurity in her voice. Jack closed the book and stood up, crossing his arms. "You did what?" he asked, anger evident in his tone. "She broke a glass and was careless," Amanda replied defensively. "I couldn't tolerate it anymore." Jack shook his head, incredulous. "Amanda, Caroline was an excellent employee. Do you have any idea how difficult her job is?" Amanda rolled her eyes. "It's not difficult to find another nanny, Jack." Jack sighed deeply. "You really don't understand. do you? You think her job is easy because you've never had to do any of it. You don't appreciate her effort. Amanda tried to argue, but Jack raised his hand, interrupting her. No, Amanda. Either you take on Caroline's responsibilities, or I'm no longer funding your lifestyle. No more credit cards, no more shopping. Amanda fell silent, shocked. She had never seen her husband so serious before. Fine. How hard can it be? Amanda replied, without realizing the challenge she was about to face. The next day, Amanda woke up early, something she hadn't done in years. She was determined to prove she could handle household tasks. In the kitchen, she attempted to prepare breakfast for Jack and Ethan. However, the kitchen, which had seemed so straightforward to manage, quickly turned into a battleground. Amanda burned the pancakes, spilled juice all over the counter, and nearly set the toaster on fire. Ethan, irritated and hungry, began to cry. Jack watched from a distance, resisting the urge to intervene. Amanda felt the pressure mounting. How did Caroline make this look so easy? She thought, already exhausted before 9 a.m. The chaos didn't end with breakfast. Amanda had to deal with Ethan's mess, clean the house, and prepare lunch. Each task seemed more complicated than the last, and Amanda found herself constantly struggling against the urge to give up. She began to realize that she had completely underestimated Caroline's work and that her arrogance had led to this chaotic situation. By the end of the day, Amanda was exhausted. She collapsed on the couch, her body sore and her mind overwhelmed. Jack approached and sat beside her. "How was your day?" he asked, although he knew the answer. "It was horrible," admitted Amanda. "I never imagined it would be this difficult." Jack placed a hand on her shoulder. "Now you understand why I've always valued Caroline's work. It's hard and thankless." Amanda nodded, tears beginning to fall down her face. "I don't know how she managed to do all this. I was so unfair to her." Jack pulled Amanda into a hug. "The important thing is that you're learning. Let's figure this out together." Amanda knew she needed to make amends. She needed to apologize to Caroline and, more importantly, show her that her work was valued. In the days that followed, Amanda continued to face domestic challenges, but now with a new perspective and a renewed respect for the work Caroline had done. When Jack arrived home and heard what had happened, he was furious. "Amanda, what have you done?" "Caroline was an excellent employee," he exclaimed, trying to keep his calm. Amanda, without remorse, replied, "She wasn't doing her job properly. It's not hard to find another nanny." Jack shook his head, incredulous. "You really have no idea how difficult her job is, do you?" he asked, his voice full of frustration. "You don't appreciate her effort because you've never had to do any of this?" Amanda rolled her eyes, finding the conversation a waste of time. "Me? Taking care of the house? Don't make me laugh, Jack. I'm not cut out for that." Jack, however, was serious. "Either you take on Caroline's responsibilities, or I'm no longer funding your lifestyle. No more credit cards, no more shopping." Amanda realized Jack wasn't joking. She had never seen her husband so serious before. "Fine. How hard can it be?" Amanda replied, unaware of the challenge she was about to face. The next day, Amanda woke up early, something she hadn't done in years. She was determined to prove she could handle household tasks. In the kitchen, she attempted to prepare breakfast for Jack and Ethan. However, the kitchen, which had seemed so easy to manage before, quickly turned into a battleground. Amanda burned the pancakes, spilled juice all over the counter, and almost set the toaster on fire. Ethan, irritated and hungry, began to cry. Jack watched from afar, resisting the urge to intervene. Amanda felt the pressure mounting. How did Caroline make this look so easy? She thought, already exhausted before 9 a.m. The chaos didn't end with breakfast. Amanda had to deal with Ethan's mess, clean the house, and prepare lunch. Each task seemed more complicated than the last, and Amanda found herself constantly fighting the urge to give up. She began to realize she had completely underestimated Caroline's work and that her arrogance had led to this chaotic situation. Amanda's first day as the housekeeper of her own home was a complete disaster. In addition to the morning difficulties, Amanda faced new challenges throughout the day. Laundry, for example, seemed like a simple task but quickly turned into a nightmare. She mixed white clothes with colored ones, resulting in a pile of stained clothing. Desperate to fix her mistake, Amanda spent hours in the laundry room trying unsuccessfully to remove the stains. She still needed to clean the house, a task that seemed never-ending. Each room had its own set of demands, from vacuuming carpets to dusting furniture. The work seemed endless. By nightfall, Amanda was exhausted and disheartened. She still had to prepare dinner. Remembering Jack's frequent criticisms of her lack of culinary skills, Amanda decided to try harder. She chose a complicated recipe, believing that an elaborate dish would impress her husband and son. However, the complexity of the recipe soon became a hurdle. Amanda burned the meat, spilled sauce all over the kitchen, and nearly burned herself in the process. Dinner, which was supposed to be a celebration, turned into a complete disaster. Ethan refused to eat, and Jack, though trying to be understanding, couldn't hide his disappointment. Amanda's second attempt to prepare a meal was even more chaotic. Determined to prove she could improve, she spent the morning studying recipes and watching cooking tutorials. However, practice proved much harder than theory. Amanda was constantly overwhelmed by instructions and techniques she had never learned before. She decided to prepare a simpler meal, but still faced numerous obstacles. Trying to fry eggs, Amanda ended up with a mess of broken eggs and hot oil spread across the kitchen. The oven, which she rarely used, also became an enemy. Amanda didn't know how to adjust the temperature correctly, resulting in burnt cookies and undercooked meat. Ethan, watching his mother curiously, tried to help but ended up making things even more complicated. Amanda, impatient, ended up yelling at her son, causing Ethan to withdraw, sad and confused. Jack, coming home and seeing the state of the kitchen, tried to stay calm, but it was evident he was concerned about the situation. "I don't know how Caroline made this look so easy," lamented Amanda, sitting at the kitchen table, defeated. "I really thought I could handle all of this, but I'm failing miserably." Jack put his hand on her shoulder, trying to comfort her. "Amanda, you're trying, and that's already a big step. But it's important to understand that Caroline's job is difficult and requires a lot of skill and patience. It's not something you learn overnight." Amanda nodded, feeling somewhat better with Jack's words, but still deeply frustrated. She knew she needed to keep trying, but each day seemed to bring new challenges and disasters. Amanda's third attempt to prepare a meal was somewhat more successful, but still far from ideal. She finally managed to cook a simple pasta dish, though she burned the sauce in the process. Ethan, hungry, ate without complaining, and Jack, though unimpressed, praised his wife's effort. But the kitchen was a complete mess. Dirty dishes piled up in the sink, leftover food was scattered on the counter, and the floor was sticky from spills. Amanda felt overwhelmed by the task of cleaning everything, something Caroline always made look so easy. As Amanda washed the dishes, she reflected on Caroline's last words before leaving. "You're here to make my life easier, not to create more problems." Amanda realized how unfair she had been. She now understood that Caroline did much more than just make life easy. She kept the house running, allowing Amanda and her family to live comfortably. Amanda knew she needed to correct her mistakes, but wasn't yet ready to face Caroline. Instead, she decided to continue trying to improve her domestic skills, hoping that one day she could make amends with the nanny she had treated so poorly. Want to find out if Amanda will redeem herself with Caroline and show that she's truly learned to value her work? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to catch the next exciting chapter of this story. In the days that followed, Amanda faced new challenges, especially related to caring for Ethan. The relationship between mother and son, already distant, became even more tense. Ethan, who had been accustomed to Caroline's constant presence and loving care, now felt confused and neglected. Amanda tried everything to maintain Ethan's routine. Waking up early, preparing his breakfast, and getting him to school became difficult and stressful tasks. Ethan, used to Caroline's patience and kindness, didn't react well to his mother's impatience. He often threw tantrums, cried, and refused to cooperate. One morning, while trying to dress Ethan for school, Amanda encountered a real battle. Ethan didn't want to wear the clothes she had chosen. "I want my dinosaur shirt," he shouted, tears streaming down his face. Amanda, already exhausted, lost her patience. "Ethan, please, just put this on and let's go. We're late." However, Ethan didn't give in. He cried and struggled, making the task of dressing him almost impossible. Amanda, feeling on the verge of a breakdown, sat down on the floor and started crying. "I don't know what else to do, Ethan. I'm just trying to help." Seeing his mother cry, Ethan stopped yelling and approached her. "Sorry, Mommy. I just wanted the dinosaur shirt," he said in a small voice. Amanda hugged him, feeling helpless. "I know, sweetheart. I'm just trying to do the best I can." This brief interaction made Amanda realize how much she relied on Caroline, not only to take care of the house, but also to create a stable and loving environment for Ethan. She began to understand that being a mother was much more than just providing materially for her child. It required patience, affection, and understanding, qualities she needed to develop. As the days passed, Amanda continued to struggle to keep the house in order. Cleaning tasks, which had seemed simple before, proved extremely challenging. Each room demanded special attention, and time never seemed sufficient to finish everything. Amanda spent hours vacuuming carpets, dusting furniture, and washing windows. However, no matter how hard she tried, the house never seemed as clean as when Caroline was there. Messes accumulated quickly, and Amanda often found herself overwhelmed. One of the biggest challenges was cleaning the bathrooms. Amanda had never appreciated the hard work involved in keeping tiles sparkling and mirrors spotless. She spent an entire afternoon scrubbing the main bathroom, only to realize there were still corners that needed attention. The physical effort required to keep the house clean also began to take its toll. Amanda felt pains in her back and arms and often ended the day completely exhausted. She began to appreciate even more the daily work that Caroline did, keeping the house spotless without ever complaining. Furthermore, Amanda realized that household organization was essential for the smooth running of daily life. Without a clear structure, she wasted a lot of time trying to find items and ended up getting even more stressed. Caroline, with her experience and method, had a system that Amanda now understood was crucial for the efficiency of the house. As the days turned into weeks, Amanda began to spend more time reflecting on her actions and past attitudes. The lonely nights, after exhausting days of housework, became moments of introspection. She wondered how she had come to this point and how she could correct the mistakes she had made. Amanda realized that her arrogant and disrespectful attitude affected not only Caroline but also her own family. Jack was becoming more distant, and Ethan, despite his young age, was starting to sense the tension between his parents. Amanda knew she needed to change, not just for Caroline but for herself and her family. She began to remember Caroline's small gestures, the patience she showed with Ethan, and the care with which she looked after the house. Caroline wasn't just an employee. She was an important part of the family, someone who made a difference in their daily lives. Amanda felt ashamed for not recognizing this earlier. On one of these reflective nights, Amanda decided she needed to apologize to Caroline. She knew a simple apology wouldn't be enough to repair the damage she had caused, but it was a start. Amanda also wanted to show Caroline that she genuinely appreciated her work and was willing to change. The next morning, Amanda woke up with a new determination. She would continue to fulfill her household responsibilities, but would also begin to plan a way to make amends with Caroline. Amanda knew this would be a long process, but she was willing to do whatever it took to set things right. Want to find out how Amanda will try to redeem herself with Caroline and whether she will regain her family's trust? Don't miss the next chapters of this emotional story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to catch every episode of this journey of learning and transformation. A few days later, Amanda was busy trying to organize the house when she heard the doorbell ring. She opened the door and, to her surprise, found Caroline standing on the doorstep. The housekeeper looked hesitant, holding a small package in her hands. "Caroline?" Amanda exclaimed, surprised. "What are you doing here?" Caroline gave a shy smile. "I just came to return this," she said, extending the package to Amanda. "It's a gift Ethan gave me last Christmas. I thought it would be better to return it." Amanda took the package, feeling a wave of guilt and sadness wash over her. She knew this was the moment she needed to apologize. "Caroline, please come in. We need to talk." Caroline hesitated for a moment, but then nodded and entered the house. Amanda led her to the living room, where they both sat down. The tension in the air was palpable, but Amanda knew she had to confront the situation. "Caroline, I know I've been terrible to you," Amanda began, the words coming out of her mouth with difficulty. "I acted impulsively and unfairly. I had no idea how hard your job was until I tried to do everything on my own. I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart." Caroline looked at Amanda, surprised by the sincerity in her words. "I know my job isn't easy," Caroline said calmly, "but I've always tried to do my best for you all. I never meant to cause trouble." "I understand that now," Amanda said, her eyes welling up. "I was selfish and arrogant. I didn't realize how much you did for us. I would like to ask you to come back. The house isn't the same without you, and Ethan misses you a lot." Caroline fell silent for a moment, pondering the offer. "Amanda, I need assurances that things will be different," she finally said. "I can't come back to an environment where I'm not valued." "I promise it will be different," Amanda replied firmly. "I've learned a lot from this experience, and I want to show that I truly value your work. Please give me the chance to make things right." Caroline watched Amanda closely, searching for sincerity in her words. After a few moments of silence, she finally spoke. "Amanda, I can see you're trying to change, and I appreciate your apology. But it's not just about words. It's about actions." Amanda nodded vigorously. "I completely understand. I will do whatever it takes to show that I'm committed to doing things differently." Caroline sighed, feeling torn. On one hand, she needed the job and cared for Ethan. On the other, she feared that things wouldn't really change. "I need some time to think," she said finally. "I'll come back to give my answer in a few days." Amanda accepted Caroline's response, understanding that the housekeeper needed time to process everything. "Of course, Caroline. Take all the time you need. And please know that you'll always be welcome here." In the days that followed, Amanda continued to handle the household tasks, but now with a new perspective. She began implementing more organized methods for cleaning and cooking, drawing from the techniques she had observed Caroline use over the years. Each day was a new learning experience, and Amanda felt increasingly skilled and confident in her abilities. Her relationship with Ethan also began to improve. Amanda learned to be more patient and to listen to her son's needs. Instead of imposing her will, she started involving Ethan in household activities, turning chores into moments of bonding and learning. Ethan seemed happier and more cooperative, and Amanda felt more connected to him than ever. Several days later, Caroline returned to the Johnson mansion. Amanda, who was in the kitchen preparing dinner, was relieved to see her. "Caroline, I'm glad you came. I hope you've had enough time to think." Caroline nodded, her gaze softer than on her last visit. "Yes, Amanda, I've thought a lot, and I've decided that I'm willing to come back, but with some conditions." Amanda listened attentively, ready to accept any conditions Caroline had. "Of course, Caroline. What are your conditions?" "First, I want my work to be properly recognized and valued," Caroline began. "I want a salary that reflects how hard I work here, and I want fairer hours that allow me time for myself and my family." Amanda immediately agreed. "You're absolutely right, Caroline. You deserve to be well compensated for your work, and I will make sure your hours are fair. Second, I want there to be more respect and collaboration between us," Caroline continued. "I understand that you lead a busy lifestyle, but we need to work together to keep the house in order and take care of Ethan. I promise to be more collaborative and respectful," Amanda replied sincerely. "I've learned a lot about the importance of teamwork, and I'm willing to help with whatever is necessary. Lastly, I want to be sure that Ethan will continue to receive the love and attention he needs," Caroline said. "He's a wonderful child and deserves to have a family that is present for him." Amanda smiled, feeling moved. "Ethan is my priority, Caroline. I've learned to cherish every moment with him, and I promise to be a more present and caring mother." Caroline fell silent for a moment, then reached out her hand to Amanda. "So, we have a deal. I'll come back to work here, but with the promise that things will be different." Amanda shook Caroline's hand, feeling relieved and grateful. "Thank you, Caroline. I promise to do everything in my power to ensure that you feel valued and respected." With Caroline back, the house began to regain its rhythm and harmony. Amanda continued to assist with household chores, staying true to her promise to be more collaborative. She and Caroline developed a mutual respect and a friendship that hadn't existed before. Ethan, in turn, was overjoyed to see Caroline again. He ran to her, hugging her tightly. "Caroline, you're back? I missed you so much." "I missed you too, Ethan," Caroline replied, hugging him back. "But now I'm here, and we're going to have a lot of fun together." Want to find out how this new dynamic will evolve and whether Amanda will really keep her promises to Caroline? Don't miss the next chapter of this emotional story. Remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes of this journey of learning and transformation. With Caroline back, the atmosphere in the Johnson household changed drastically. The order and peace that once prevailed began to return. Amanda, now more aware of the difficulties and complexities of domestic work, was determined to keep her promise to help Caroline and show more respect and collaboration. On Caroline's first day back, Amanda decided to prepare a special breakfast for everyone. She woke up early, made pancakes, eggs, and fresh juice. When Caroline entered the kitchen, she was surprised to see Amanda preparing the meal. "Good morning, Caroline. I made breakfast for all of us. Please, sit down and enjoy." Caroline smiled, grateful for Amanda's kindness. "Good morning, Amanda. That's very kind of you. I'm glad to see you're making an effort to do things differently." Amanda nodded, serving breakfast. "I've learned a lot in the past few weeks, Caroline, and I want you to know how much I appreciate what you do for us." After breakfast, Amanda and Caroline started working together on cleaning the house. Amanda followed Caroline's instructions, who showed her the most efficient methods to keep everything in order. They worked side by side, chatting and laughing, developing a new friendship based on mutual respect and admiration. The new dynamic didn't go unnoticed by Jack and Ethan. Jack, who observed the changes with satisfaction, began to feel more connected to Amanda. He appreciated the effort she was making to be a better partner and a more present mother. Ethan, in turn, was ecstatic about Caroline's return and his mother's new attitude. He felt more secure and loved than ever before. With Caroline back, the household routine was restored, but now with a significant difference. Amanda was present and active. She continued to assist with household chores, learning and improving every day. The house had never been more harmonious. Amanda also became more involved in Ethan's school life. She started picking him up from school, attending meetings with teachers, and school events. Ethan was thrilled with the newfound attention from his mother, and Amanda felt fulfilled seeing how well her son was thriving. Jack and Amanda also began spending more time together. They resumed old hobbies and discovered new shared interests. Jack, who had been concerned about Amanda's emotional distance before, now saw her as a more engaged and loving partner. Their relationship blossomed again, and mutual respect and admiration grew. On a quiet evening, after putting Ethan to bed, Amanda and Jack sat in the garden, enjoying the silence and each other's company. "I'm so proud of you, Amanda," Jack said, holding her hand. "You've changed so much, and for the better." Amanda smiled, feeling grateful. "Thank you, Jack. I needed to go through this to understand how wrong I was. Caroline taught me more than I could have imagined, and I'm so grateful to her." Jack nodded. "We're lucky to have her back, and to have a new chance to be a more united and happy family." Amanda's experience brought many valuable lessons. She learned the importance of respect and empathy, not only in the household but in all aspects of life. Amanda started getting involved in community volunteer work, helping people in difficult situations and sharing what she had learned. Caroline, in turn, finally felt valued and respected in her work. The new dynamics in the Johnson household made her feel more motivated and happy. Caroline and Amanda developed a strong friendship based on trust and mutual admiration. Ethan was flourishing with the newfound attention and love from his parents. He was happier and more confident, knowing he had a family that supported and loved him unconditionally. Amanda's journey was one of growth and transformation. She realized that by letting go of her arrogance and embracing humility, she not only improved her own life, but also the lives of those around her. The experience made her a more complete and compassionate person. The Johnson household had never been so full of love and harmony. Amanda continued to learn and grow, always seeking ways to be a better wife, mother, and friend. Caroline was happy and fulfilled in her work, knowing that her efforts were recognized and valued. And Ethan was growing up in an environment filled with love and support. Amanda and Caroline's story is a powerful reminder that true change begins within us. When we open our hearts and minds to empathy and respect, we can transform not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. Did you enjoy this inspiring story of transformation and learning? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes of our inspiring stories. Thank you for watching, and until next time,